Are you thinking about moving to Forney, or do you simply want to learn more about the city? Well, this is the one video that you're going to want to check out because we'll be covering Forney's history, what it's like to live in Forney, and we're also going to look at Forney's affordability, the lifestyle, and the real estate. This in-depth approach is going to allow us to compare Forney with other cities in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. So if you are thinking about buying in Forney, this is the one video that shares with you everything you need to know about Forney, Texas. All right, so first let's identify Forney on the map. Forney is located 20 miles east of Dallas and has one major highway connecting it to the rest of the world, which is Texas Highway 80, which is what you'll use to get to Fort Worth if you want to check out the stockyards, which is going to take you about 55 minutes. Now, if you want to get to Dallas to roam around downtown, you're looking at 25 minutes. And if you need to catch a flight at the DFW International Airport, give yourself at least 45 minutes. Now, I share the commute time to these heavily frequented locations because at one point or another, if you're going to live in Forney, you're going to go to Fort Worth, you're going to go to Dallas, or you're going to catch a flight. But to give you a better sense of what the commute looks like for the residents of Forney, know that on average, it's 37 minutes worth of commute. So what that essentially tells us is that many of the residents of Forney are commuting way into the DFW Metroplex for work. But now that we know where in the world Forney, Texas is, I want to welcome you to the DFW Homeowner YouTube channel, the go-to real estate channel for the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. My name is Jaime Resendez, your local realtor and team leader able to help you make money in real estate whether you're buying or selling. And we're on a mission to reach every DFW resident. So if you can hit that like button, it's going to really help us out. Forney is located in Kaufman County and has a rich history dating back to the 1800s. The city got its start mostly because of the booming railway industry at the time, but it quickly gained even more traction as the surrounding land was used as ranch land for the production of cotton, corn, and grain. And today, Forney is a thriving community with a population of over 20,000 people. And although Forney is going to soon become indistinguishable from the rest of the DFW area as it continues to grow out to the city, it's fighting quite fervently to retain that small town feel and preserve its historic roots. So in other words, Forney is one of those surrounding cities that at one point in the past was not formally considered part of the DFW Metroplex. But as the DFW expansion continued, Forney has no choice but to be part of the Metroplex. But now to add some additional context on Forney, I want to introduce an external resource in niche.com, which interprets millions of public data sets on cities all across the country. And as you can see, Forney has received an A- grade from Niche, having aggregated the 12 categories you see on the screen. And of course, the elephant in the room at the moment is the commute. But in spite of that, Forney was awarded the #1 place to live in Kaufman County. And as far as current and former Forney residents are concerned, they give Forney a 4 out of 5 stars based off of 103 reviews so far. All right, so the full report on Forney is linked down below so you can check it out. Now we need to look at the recreation scene in Forney. Forney has over 242 acres of parkland with 4 different types of parks. You have the mini parks, the neighborhood parks, the community parks, and undeveloped parkland. But to save you some time, just know that there's 2 primary parks. You have the Forney Community Park, which encompasses 84% of the entire acreage, and then you have the 32-acre site in Mulberry Park. Now, what's super important to note about these smaller towns when it comes to recreation is that as they continue to expand, a lot of the area that they have city owned is going to be developed into recreation of some kind, whether that's parks, whether that's trails, whether that's recreation areas or sport complexes. So just think of cities like Rockwall, like Royce City, like Prosper, that exponential growth that they're experiencing and everything that came with it. It's the same thing that's happening over here in Forney. But let's continue because we have to talk about the school system, which is important regardless if you have kids or not, given that the school system impacts you from a property tax perspective and also from a resale value. Forney ISD has 1,300 students spread across all of its campuses. You have 9 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools. Now from a student to teacher ratio, you're looking at 16:1, which is a little bit off from the state average of 15:1. And when it comes to the percentage of teachers with 3 or more years of experience, you're looking at 83%, which again is a little bit shy from the state average of 84%. Now there's many things that I, as a real estate agent, am not able to get into about the school system. So I'm going to leave a full detailed report on Forney ISD linked down below. But something that I am able to talk about is the Chick-fil-A situation. So we need to ask ourselves, is there a Chick-fil-A in Forney? And I'm pleased to announce that yes, there is a Chick-fil-A, so you don't have to leave the city for any reason. Now, of course, I'm kidding. You might not be as invested in Chick-fil-A as I am. Now, something you might be invested in is real estate, because regardless if you're a renter or a homeowner, the real estate where you live impacts your quality of life pretty directly. So let's start off from a macro perspective. The typical home value of homes in Forney is $380,743. Now this value is seasonally adjusted and only includes the middle price tier of homes. And note that Forney home values have gone up 23% over the past year. So if you look at the last 10 years of activity, the home values in Forney had been going up. However, that drastic jump from 2021 to 2022 was astronomical. Now we are starting to see a bit of a pullback, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next several months. But with that being said, we now know that the median home value in Forney is $381,000. What we want to do now is we want to compare that median home value to the surrounding cities. The median home value in Heath is $819,000. In Terrell, the median home value is $287,000. In Mesquite is $293,000. And in Sunnyvale, the median home value is $642,000. So as you can see, there's some surrounding cities that have a much higher median home value. But let's take it one step further, because up until now, we've just been looking at numbers. We know that the median home value is $381,000. But to make that number a bit more real, let's see the type of home that you can purchase for that amount. So you might have noticed something with those houses that you just saw. Number one, they're beautiful. But number two is that most of them were pretty much new. And that's what you're going to find in Forney. You're going to find a lot of new homes being built in the city of Forney that have a reasonable asking price. But just a heads up, the homes that you just saw, by the time you're watching this video, have probably already sold. So to get the most current list of our preferred homes in Forney, check out our link down below. And now is also a great time for me to share with you how to calculate your monthly mortgage payment. So you're going to want to check out this video right here that shows you exactly how to do that, which is mandatory watching, especially if you're coming in from out of state, because the way that we do property taxes is a little bit different than how you do it. So effectively what I'm saying is that our property taxes are some of the highest in the country. However, let's look at the bright side. There are no state income taxes, which is actually a great lead-in for our next category, which is the cost of living. Overall, the cost of living in Forney is 8% higher than the national average. And if you look at just housing, it's also 8% above the average. And when you isolate utilities, you're looking at 10% more. Now, from a groceries perspective, you're spending 2% less. And from a transportation perspective, it's 10% less than the national average. So at this point, you might be thinking, Jaime, Forney is the city for me. Well, if that's you, awesome. Congratulations. I want to invite you to connect with our top realtors, link down below. However, if you're still on the fence, that's okay too. I want to provide 2 additional cities for you to consider. I want you to check out Rockwall, and I also want you to check out Royce City. And now that you're here, I want to entrust you with a small secret. There's actually a city in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex that's selling homes for under $100,000. Brand new homes. That city is called